And in Virginia, we've got the civil case for teacher Abby Zwerner resuming at 9 a.m. She is suing the vice principal of her school, Ebony Parker, for $40 million after she was shot by a 6-year-old student. That is our top story for you here on Opening Statements. Very emotional testimony. To start this trial off, staff members recalling that horrific day.
What did you do after you heard the frantic call? I know, Mr. Robinson. It's okay.
He shot her. And I said, he did what? And she said, yeah.
Did you hear the shooting?
Yes.
Okay. Once you heard the shooting, what did you think that was?
I knew it was a gunshot.
And where did you think it had come from?
Abby's room.
I see blood on her leg, so I knew she was hit. I wasn't really sure. On this side, I see Jen open the door, the kids screaming and running out. I felt like I had a bubble of God around me, and I walked straight to him. He was standing there with his legs kind of spread open, arms crossed and cocky.
The plaintiff in this case is claiming that the defendant didn't do enough to prevent the shooting, even though she had been warned several times that the student had a gun. So let's talk about what the jury may be thinking so far and the optics going on in that courtroom. Let's bring in our legal eagle, Casey Early. She's a criminal defense and civil rights attorney and our law enforcement expert, retired NYPD Sergeant Joe Giacalone. Good morning to you both. All right, so let's start with the safety aspect here going on that day in that school, and then I want to proceed to the legal threshold that has to be met here. So, Sarge, I want to start with you. Tell us your reaction when you heard what was put into evidence and put forth in the opening statements on opening day here about the alerts regarding this kid and the firearm.
It made me angry. I mean, you think about all the training, because I'm still a teacher now, so we go through all the training, the run, the hide, the fight, you know, tell somebody, all the different aspects of it. And here you have a situation where someone has been told at least 3 times that there's an individual in the classroom with a gun or in the school with a gun, and they do nothing. And this is something where I think that the jury is going to send a message just like they did in the Crumbly case back in Michigan. It is just outrageous that you would have somebody who is a school administrator or assistant principal and not take care of it. And I think even if I recall correctly, that someone had testified that she had said, well, the child's parents come and let them deal with it, so to speak, something like that. It's just mind-boggling.
It really is, and it is reminiscent of the Crumbly case. I'm so glad you said that, Sarge. Casey, I wondered if you were thinking the same, as we've done a lot of discussions together about that case. Your thoughts first on the safety aspect, and then we'll get to some of the legalities.
Yes, Julie, it doesn't cost anything to err on the side of caution. I always say that in this case, I can't even fathom my 11-year-old bringing a gun. But in this case, he was 6 years old and he had a reputation. So they should have erred on the side of caution. And I believe that Ms. Parker's reputation of ignoring teachers' complaints or not doing enough is what is at issue here. And just to see the raw emotions of the teachers, recalling the events, what happened, it's there. I'm here in Parkland, Florida, and we don't forget February 12, 2018. This community is still mourning the loss of the teachers and the staff. And the purpose of the administration is to ensure the safety of both the children and the staff. So the question becomes, what steps were in place or not in this case to ensure their safety? And there was also some allegations that his disciplinary records were allegedly hidden or misplaced. So it just shows that there was some foreseeability and possibly gross negligence in this civil case.
Yes, Casey. And speaking of the gross negligence, so that's what the allegation is. This isn't an easy threshold, is it? To say so, it's easy to throw out the word, oh, someone was negligent, but legally, what does the plaintiff need to put forth in order to win this case and actually prove gross negligence?
It definitely goes back to foreseeability. Was this something that the administration could have expected, or was there a pattern of behavior? And we know that there was. Even with the missing records, we have some of the teachers will testify as to his behavior, but we also have the warnings that came before the actual shooting that there was a possibility of a gun being in his possession. And then you have the response that his, quote, pockets were not big enough to hold a gun. So it shows that there was some form of warning and it wasn't heeded, or it wasn't investigated. So could this have been prevented? And I do believe that the plaintiff has proven, or will be able to prove, that not only could this have been prevented, there were not enough steps, actions, investigations, inquiries, something just to dispel the myth. He had a reputation of violence. So this should have been of concern for the administration.
Absolutely, Casey. He was just coming off a 2-day suspension for a violent episode. His behavior was so out of control that there was a rule put into place that he should have had a parent accompanying him every single day. And on this given day, mom wasn't there. You referenced one of the important facts about the pockets. I have that clip here when one of the staff members goes to the assistant principal's office to report this. Let's watch.
What do you tell Dr. Parker at this time?
So again, I tell her that I went and checked the bag. I told her just what I said to you all, what was in the bag. And then I also tell her that Abby texted me that they were out at recess, that he took something from the bag and he put it in his pocket.
Did you tell her you thought it could be a gun?
I mean, I told her that I reported that it was a gun. I mean, the whole time I assumed she thought it was a gun because that's what the girls reported, and I went and reported to her.
And what did she say in response to you when you said he put it in his pocket?
She did say that, you know, well, he has little pockets, and I said he put it in his jacket pocket. And I was kind of mad, you know, and I walked away.
I'd be mad too. Sergeant Joe Jackalone, what's your reaction when you watch that video and you hear the response?
I just find it unfathomable that somebody would act like this. I mean, is there another relationship between this principal and the family, and this is why this would have gone down this way? I mean, with all the school shootings that you've had, all the different security measures that we've put in place, all the different things that we have done to try to keep our kids safe in school, and you find out somebody that works in the school who is in charge is laissez-faire about it. I find it appalling, to tell you the truth.
Right. You know, and with your experience with firearms, does it also astound you that a 6-year-old would be so comfortable carrying in a backpack, concealing it in his pocket, and then firing it? I mean, I don't know. I haven't done the work that you have, you know, on the streets arresting people. I'm sure you've seen lots of things that have been astounding, Sarge. But it was 6 years old. Your thoughts on him?
Yes, I've never seen a 6-year-old at this point. I mean, it depends on the type of gun and the amount of pressure it takes to pull the trigger. But the point that it was in his mother's pocketbook and it was unsecured, and then it will also lead into speculation, the fact that, you know, there was gunplay in the house beforehand, that he was even comfortable about how to use it and what it's used for, and that kind of thing. I mean, when you get the description that he's standing there with his hands folded across his chest and everything else that goes along with it, you're just kind of saying that there is something definitely wrong in that home.
Right, right. Search him. Search him. I mean, what are we afraid of? You know, Casey, you do civil rights work. Are we afraid of you know, violating this child's rights so much so that we're going to sacrifice the safety of that whole building?
But you're stripped of your Fourth Amendment constitutional right to be free from unreasonable search and seizure when you enter the school grounds. So I'm searching. I mean, like my colleague stated, we're in a different era here. I mean, I remember the first time I touched a gun at a gun range, I was just nervous. So for this 6-year-old child to not only be comfortable holding, carrying, firing this gun, it shows that he had some experience. And if you have experience handling a gun as a 6-year-old, I'm looking at the parents. So we already know that there's some culpability over there. But there is no The safety of the students, again, and the staff should prevail, and your Fourth Amendment rights, especially when you have warnings, when you make a report, should be investigated. I am completely appalled by this, and this has to change because we need to protect our students and the staff.
Right. Oh, I'm with you. My thoughts exactly, Casey. I'm with you with the nervousness every time I handle a fire. I'm incredibly nervous. You know, and the 6-year-old to be so comfortable. Yes, it's crazy to me. And you're right. You know, when you think about, so there was more than probable cause. And there's a question, and you made a great point, Casey. Does he even retain those rights in the school? This is like a con law problem. Yeah, I mean, search him. This is idiotic what happened here.